This woman brings new men home with her every night and they excitedly follow her. But what she does with them leaves them horrified. A man on a motorbike stops next to a van parked on the side of the road. He goes into some nearby dark bushes and comes out carrying an unconscious woman, whom he throws in the back of the van. Next, the unconscious woman is brought to a strange, bright white room where another woman takes off all of her clothes. As the other woman does this, tears come out of the first woman's eyes, revealing that she isn't unconscious, but just somehow unable to move and protect herself. The mysterious woman puts on the first woman's clothes, enters the same van, and starts driving. She arrives at a mall where she sees all the women purchasing and applying makeup, and decides to do the same. After this, she gets in the car again, and starts observing all the men walking around town. She asks one boy walking by himself for directions, and makes a failed attempt at flirting with him. She repeats this process with several men, until finally, she gets one to come home with her. As they enter the house, she walks in front of him and seductively undresses. He does the same, and he gets so entranced by her attractive body that he doesn't notice there is something off about his surroundings. This is why women live longer than men. The entire room is a strange, reflective black color. As he continues walking toward her, he suddenly starts sinking into a strange black liquid, deeper and deeper with each step. By the time the woman turns around, there is no sign of the man. His entire body has been submerged. She puts her clothes back on and hits the road again. Next, she arrives at a beach, where a family is having a picnic. The husband is watching his wife swim while holding their baby. She spots a swimmer and strikes up a conversation with him. Just then, the swimmer notices that the wife of the family is drowning because of the strong waves, and the husband is trying to save her, but is unable to do so because the waves won't let him. He rushes to help the family, but he is only able to save the husband, who jumps back in the water to save his wife, even though she is beyond help now. The rescue effort tires out the swimmer, and the mystery woman decides to go for the less subtle approach this time, knocking the swimmer out with a large rock and dragging his body to the van. The baby of the family cries sitting there by himself, but she pays no attention to him. Afterward, the motorbiker from earlier arrives at the beach and collects the swimmer's belongings. The baby is still there all by himself crying, but the biker doesn't pay attention to him either and leaves. That's just cruel. Next, the woman runs into a bunch of party girls who drag her to a nearby club. At the club, a man hits on her and they dance together. He dances all the way to her house and then dances his way to his doom as he gets submerged in the black liquid as well. Inside the liquid, he is suspended, unable to move around, and he spots one of the men that the woman brought home earlier. The man's body is strangely swollen. He reaches out to touch him, and as he does, the man suddenly loses all his mass, and his skin turns into something like a thin plastic bag. His mass is turned into a strange red substance, which is collected in a trough. The woman is stuck in traffic when a random man sends her a rose. She notices blood on the rose and gets worried that it is coming out of her. But then, she sees that the seller who handed her the rose has a cut on his hand. This calms her down. Next, she picks up another victim in the van, another man smitten by her beauty, who can clearly see that there is something shady about the house she is leading him to, but like all the others, he listens to what's between his legs instead of what's in his skull. After this victim, the woman applies makeup and presents herself to the motorbiker, who inspects her closely. She seems intimidated by him. She passes his inspection, and he leaves. She continues her mission, this time going around town on foot, looking for more down bad men to exploit. At one point, she trips and falls on the pavement. She stays on the ground for some time without looking up, worried that perhaps she's damaged her face or some part of her body. But then, she gets up and is relieved to see that she is fine. She spends the whole day curiously observing life in the town. It seems as if she is trying to learn as much as she can. At night, she is parked in a deserted spot when a young boy knocks on her window. She lowers the window thinking another victim has walked into her hands, but it is revealed that the boy is a gang member, and the rest of the gang arrives to rob her. Panicking, she quickly drives away. Next, she stops at the side of a deserted street and lowers her window, hoping to lure in the next man who passes through. A man with a big hoodie on walks by. and she stops him. She asks him for directions, and then offers him a ride to wherever he is going. The man accepts. On the way, the man takes off his hoodie, and it is revealed that he has a severely disfigured face. She tries to flirt with him, but he doesn't buy it. Smart man. She asks him if he's ever had a girlfriend or if he's ever even been with a girl, and he doesn't respond. She stops the car and tells the man he has beautiful hands. She tells him to touch her face, and when he's too nervous to do it, she grabs his hand and makes him do it. She then makes him touch her neck and asks him if he likes it. He affirms that he does, because why wouldn't he? And then she asks him to come home with her. He pinches himself to make sure he isn't dreaming, but little does he know, he should be checking for nightmares instead. They arrive at the house and enter the all-black room. She notices that he is looking around too much and realizes to keep him focused, she'll have to pull out the big guns, so she takes off her bra and pulls out her big guns. It works, and he walks straight into the black liquid like all the others. As he walked toward her, he happily asked her if this is all a dream. Poor guy. As she puts on her clothes and is about to leave, she catches a glimpse of herself in the mirror, and she can't seem to look away. Something clicks in her mind and she has a change of heart. She pulls the disfigured face man out of the liquid, takes him out of the house and drives him away in the van. She releases him in the wilderness, which leads to his house. However, before he can get inside his house, the motorbiker arrives, and he appears to be angry. He beats up the disfigured face man, puts him in the trunk of a car, and drives away. Next, the woman arrives in some part of town where a thick mist has settled in, and it is revealed that she has arrived in the mountainous regions to hide away. She leaves the van in the mist so that it isn't seen and she can't be tracked. She arrives at a restaurant and orders a piece of cake. After the waiter brings the slice, she nervously raises a piece to her mouth, but as she puts it in, it is revealed that she finds its taste disgusting. She spits it out, causing everyone in the restaurant to stare at her. The woman gets on a bus to go away even further, and her distressed state is apparent to the driver and a man on the bus. The man asks her if he can help her in any way, and after not responding for a while, she says yes. She gets off the bus with the man, goes grocery shopping with him, and then arrives at his house. He takes her coat, cooks some dinner, and the two watch TV together. The TV show fascinates her, and she notably doesn't eat a single bite of the dinner. Afterward, the man makes her some tea and offers her a place to sleep in the spare bedroom of his house. When he leaves, the woman takes off all her clothes and spends the entire night curiously observing her own naked body. Meanwhile, the motorbiker meets up with some other motorbikers who all seem to be running similar operations in different cities. After the meeting, they all drive off in different directions. The next morning, the woman goes for a walk through the woods with her host. At one point, they encounter a puddle, and the man picks her up and carries her across it to make sure her feet don't get wet. Whoever said chivalry is dead? They spend the day sharing some romantic moments in the ruins of an old castle, and afterward, they come home and start making passionate love. However, right as they are about to get to the main event of the act, she feels something strange, and quickly gets up and grabs a lamp to look at her crotch. Whatever she sees down there horrifies her, and she runs away. She runs all the way to the woods, and while going through the woods, she encounters a local worker. The worker tries to strike up a conversation and tell her all about the different trails in the woods, but she doesn't entertain him and keeps walking forward. Meanwhile, the motorbiker appears to be driving by the very same woods that the woman is hiding in. After walking around the forest for a while, she arrives at an old abandoned shelter. She steps inside, wraps herself up as snugly as she can, and goes to sleep. After a while, she wakes up to find the same local worker from earlier fondling her thighs. She panics, runs away as fast as she can, and hides in the woods. After hiding for a while, she goes back on the run and comes across a truck. She tries to drive the truck away, but it is revealed that the truck belongs to the same worker that she is running from. As he gets nearer, she runs off into the woods again, and he chases after her. After running for some time, he catches up to her and tackles her to the ground. He tries to force himself on her and starts ripping off all her clothes. But during the struggle, her very skin starts coming off, revealing something black and hollow underneath. The worker is horrified to see this and runs away. After he leaves, she takes all of her skin off, revealing an alien black featureless form from underneath. As she observes her own face, which is still moving and blinking, the worker returns from behind and douses her with gasoline before lighting her on fire. She runs off into the woods, burning and in agony, and finally collapses outside as smoke from the ashes of her body rises into the air and mixes with the falling snow. Meanwhile, the motorbiker stands atop a mountain in the thick, misty region where she left the van earlier. The end. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.